Nicola. Today, as you may know, on the 14th of March, Stephen Hawking died at the age of 76.
Stephen Hawking, who was a famous scientist, died at age of 76. He was known for his groundbreaking work with the black hole and relatively...
Hello, Mr. O'Neill.
Hello.
So today we're going to be interviewing Mr. O'Neill on what he thought of Stephen Hawking before he died. So what do you think of Stephen Hawking and what he achieved?
He achieved huge amounts. I always find it inspirational when people, get over adversity. He's a brilliant mind, and the world will be a different place without him. Incredible human, fabulous book. I struggle to comprehend in certain places, but it's incredible.
Hello, I'm Matthew.
And I'm Amber.
From the BBC School Report.
Snow Day, Mr. Hutton interview. A horrific amount of snow caused A&S to be shut for the day on Friday the 2nd of March. This affected lots of teachers because of where they lived and the incredible amount of snow blocking of the areas. Some teachers live in places such as Dorset and Southampton where it was more heavy, and that meant they could not go to work.
The decision to close was made by the government after being warned from police and health concerns. Parents and legal guardians were informed on the Thursday before at roughly 6:45 p.m. During our interview, Mr. Hutton explained to us that it also let the children of A&S to play in the snow and enjoy it whilst it lasted. On the following Monday, most of the snow was gone and was safe enough to attend schools around Portsmouth. Admiral Lord Nelson.
Hello, I'm Leo Collins in the BBC School Report. Today we are going to be talking to our Deputy Head Teacher, Mr. Hutton, about our recent snow day. So, first, when was the snow day?
It was last Friday. It's officially called. Yeah, where the decision was made to close the school.
27th?
No, it was the 2nd of March. I think it was 2nd of March, 2018.
2nd of March 2018. It was here in Portsmouth, around Admiral Lord Nelson School. Why did you make the decision to close down the school?
It wasn't an easy decision. It wasn't my decision either. Ultimately, the decision to close the school down was the chair of governors and the head teacher. But I was involved in conversations with the head teacher around whether we felt we could open or not. We made decisions based on the information from the police, the information from the weather forecasters, and other things that the conditions were going to get really dangerous potentially, particularly travelling. And the decision eventually to close the school was for health and safety. A lot of our staff live quite a long way away, and therefore travelling to and from school for them was particularly hazardous, and we have a duty of care to them and some of our students who also live a way away to make sure they can travel to and from school safely.
Well, there goes my how. Who do you think, in your opinion, completely unbiased, was the most affected in the... It can be a group of teachers or one specific teacher?
We talk about affected by the snow or affected by the decision to close?
You could tell us both.
We'll
start with the snow.
Okay, affected by the snow, I think you'd find that teachers who are living more towards Dorset, Southampton way were probably more affected by the snow because it was a lot deeper that way than it was in Portsmouth. And certainly there's people who live in more rural areas because some of the roads are untreated, so for them to get to a main road is quite difficult. In Portsmouth, it's not too far away from a main road to get there, but certainly if you live further away, it can be a lot more treacherous. On the day, I think the people who are most affected by snow days are sometimes the parents that work. I find the decision we make is always that difficult one around working parents and, well, what then do I do with my child during this day? If I've got to go to work and my work's still open, how do I do that and how do I manage myself? Or do I take a day off work, potentially in many cases unpaid, which is difficult.
What was your biggest not really regret, but thought within this snow day?
I don't think we had any regrets. I think the decision to close was the right one. So I don't think I can say we had any regrets. I think that for many of our students, it was a day that they, snow. It rarely snows on the south coast. So I think for many young people, it was a great opportunity just to enjoy being in snow and having some fun with the snow. The biggest regret is always the impact it has on other people and parents and other people and young people and their learning. But weigh that up with the benefits that playing in snow can have for young people. It's a fine margin, isn't it, in terms of what that can offer for most people.
Well, that was about the snow day. I'll hand over to our next person.
Hi, I'm Nicola, and this is
Miss Tripp.
So I'm just going to ask you some questions about the starfish on UK beach. Is that
Okay. Yeah.
So, did you hear about the starfishes on the UK beach?
I did hear very briefly about it, yes. I don't know the details, but I did see the report.
So what do you think this big effect in global warming will do to the world?
I think it's really hard to know exactly what the effects are, especially after we've seen this report in the news about the starfish. I just think it goes to show how the dramatic effect on changing the climate can affect so many different organisms. And I think we won't necessarily see the effects and things will start cropping up like the starfish unexpectedly.
So what could we do to prevent this from happening again?
I personally feel like it's a little bit too late to prevent global warming from happening. All we can do now is limit the serious effects of it, and so we need to seriously think about our carbon emissions and how much fossil fuels we're using, and to reduce the amount of electricity we use at home, in school and in our places of work.
What would you say to your fellow pupils to to stop global warming from carrying on?
I would encourage them to see how eco-friendly they can be in their own lives and how much they can nag their parents. So could you walk to the shops perhaps instead of driving? Do your lights need to be left on? Do you need to leave your phone on charge? Could you unplug it? Could you turn off the television?
So what do you do in an eco club?
So we do a whole variety of things. At the moment we're trying to raise awareness about the environment, and we have restored the pond area, and we're hoping to take small groups of students out there so they can witness the wildlife we have right in our very school. We're also trying to encourage teachers and students to recycle. You should see recycling boxes in your classroom. Please use them. If you have any waste paper, it goes in the recycling box.
Okay, so that's it for today.
Okay, thank you very much, Nicola.
So, goodbye now.
Sports news. Mayfield 2, ANLS 1. Jamie scored in the second half while Mayfield took a 2-0 lead with the first and second half goal. The game took place on Wednesday, the 7th of March 2018. The players that weren't fit to play on Wednesday later will arrive for training on Monday. We have planned the upcoming games against St Edmunds, Trafalgar and Springfield. ANLS forward Freddie said, "As soon as we kicked off, Mayfield scored and we started to get into the game. Jamie had a good shot, but the keeper saved it, and then in the second half it was 50-50 possession, and sloppy defending caused Mayfield to score another. It was a close game from that on, and at the end I put a lovely ball through to Jamie, and he made it 2-1. On Tuesday, the 13th of March, the girls' football team participated in an outdoor tournament at Priory. They won their pool and the final was a draw, which led to a tense penalty shootout. With the ANLS goalkeeper saving 3 penalties, they were victorious. And now, in netball, Year 10 put in a very strong performance against Trafalgar UTC in their netball game on Monday, the 12th of March 2018, being 13-11 to the opposition. And now some Portsmouth Football Club news. Central midfielder Danny Rose signs a new 1-year deal and says, "The club has shown great faith in me." The end of season awards dinner takes place on Tuesday, the 1st of May at the Victory Lounge at Fratton Park. Next, Pompey look for a new kit maker at the end of the 17-18 season, where Sondico's deal runs out. It's more than likely to be an American brand like Under Armour or Nike. A 3-1 defeat to Gillingham leaves the truly stunned Pompey side now in 12th place in the Sky Bet League 1 table. And now we're with Caitlin.
As a school, Admiral Lord Nelson have done many celebrational things and held occasions for people to meet and raise awarenesses for so many things. Our school is hugely supported, one helping the country Gambia, which is situated in the west of Africa. We hold charity events and fundraisers as a school and for the school out there in Gambia. We interviewed the inspirational leader, Miss Lucas. She has been visiting Gambia ever since and has had so much experience with them. After this, we also interviewed a young girl, Jeffrina, as a student at our school to ask a few questions on her opinion.
Hello, I'm Sienna, and today we're going to be interviewing Jeffrina. Our school, Admiral Lord Nelson, has done so many things to do with Gambia, and we've done charity events, fundraisers, everything you can imagine. We've even gone around to Gambia to talk to them, to just live there for a while, to experience the life of Gambian children. And I'm going to interview Jeffrina Jeffrina, to talk to her about what she thinks. So what do you think about the school so far and what's going on in the school?
Yeah, I think it's good. They do a lot for Gambia with the Bazaar, non-school uniform days. A lot is happening. Bazaar is like at Christmas they do stores and stuff and you give money. And a lot happens for Gambia because they really need it.
Great.
And the teachers here are good. And then making the teachers there better. And all the staff, they pay it more. And all the equipment and stuff, they buy the equipment and stuff.
Yeah.
So they can have a better education.
That's wonderful. If you had a chance to go to Gambia, would you go there to visit them?
Yeah, maybe, because it sounds like a good place, because now it's become better and all, and we can get the vaccinations and prevent the diseases from spreading. So it's become better now. Yeah. If it was before it was quite bad. So before I wouldn't have gone, but now, thinking about it, as the school has done so much for the thing, maybe I would go and look.
What's your favourite part of the school? What makes this school outstanding?
The teachers are really good. They provide the education, they do a lot for the students, they help out, they are really supportive at times. And I think the teaching staff and all the staff are really good.
Yeah, that's good. If you had one thing you would do to make the school better, what would it be to make the school, there's one thing in the school that just isn't right yet that you feel like should be better?
I'm not sure, it's all quite alright.
Yeah.
Actually, I wouldn't change anything.
Well, we've talked a lot on the Gambia, because we do a lot on the Gambia, but as well as that, in our school we do a lot on eco-friendly as well. So Jeffrina is also part of the eco-friendly club, so I'm going to ask her some questions about what she does. So what do you do in the eco-friendly club, Jeffrina?
We do recycling. We do recycling every Wednesday and Friday. So we go around and collect the recycling. We put recycling boxes in the classroom. And we also do smaller projects than that, during them. And we've been growing sunflowers lately. And in the last project we did saving energy lights. We tried to make teachers think about how much electricity they use and make them close the computers, projectors, lights, stuff when they leave the classroom and when they're not using it.
What's one thing you would say to everyone in other schools in Admiral for them to do better and to have a better world and sustainability?
Just go for it. When you're putting paper in the bin, think about that it's going to landfill, and then think about putting it in the recycling bin and not putting it in the bin.
That's great.
And switching off the lights when you are not in that room. When no one's in that room, if the light's on, it's costing money as well and wasting electricity.
Yeah, it's great, we're finished, so that's fine. Thank you, Jeffrina, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Really descriptive.
I'm Phoebe.
And I'm Caitlin.
One of our own teachers, Miss Lucas, met up with the Parliament to talk about International Women's Day. The event was organised by the One Campaign, and it was set up to celebrate the impact that British women have in helping others around the world through their fundraising, campaigning and volunteering.
Miss Lucas stated, "It was terrifying, but also fantastic." She also said it was an honour, but the best bit was hearing about what other women are doing in order to help make incredible changes around the world.
England might face an early FIFA World Cup exit as Russian spy Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia was poisoned and taken to hospital in Salisbury, England. Theresa May suggests it could only be them, meaning that Russia are the only ones that could have done it. Sergei Skripal was a Russian-born British spy who was assigned to continuously follow his home country's movements, mostly for political use.
As well, currently, Britain is very weak on the world stage, and people as high as he was could be targeted very easily. Theresa May will later announce how Britain will relate to Vladimir Putin ignored her deadline to explain why a lethal nerve agent was used to attack Sergei.
I'm Amber. And I'm Matthew, and today we're here to talk about careers. Worldwide, 30% of people get the jobs of their dreams from when they were children. Over 430 million people are unemployed, and 13% of people are actually happy with their jobs. So what do you want to be when you grow up? Or do you have no clue, like the other 64% of people worldwide?
Whatever your percentage is, we're always there to help.
Hello, I'm Nicola and I'm going to interview Bernie here about career advising and what you want to be when you grow up. So, the first question is, from age range to 11 to 16, what advice would you give to help people decide on a job?
So, it's actually very different. So an 11-year-old would be a completely different set of advice to a 16-year-old. Most of the work I do is actually with the year 11s, so people who are 15 and 16, which is much more targeted at making their plans for college and apprenticeships and what they want to do when they leave school. My main concern at that point is actually keeping their choices open, so making sure that if they change their minds later that they can still do other jobs. So if they come to me and they want to be a doctor, I can talk to them about that, but also about other science jobs and other things that might interest them then. If you're 11, I encourage you to keep your ideas as open as possible. So think big, go for whatever you could possibly be interested in, that's okay. It's just time to start having a look at what you like and what you don't like.
Alright, so what's the biggest mistake you have noticed people do when choosing their career?
They don't research it. So I get a lot of people coming in, say for example they come in and they say they want to be a lawyer. In this country it's actually a solicitor, so lawyers are an American thing, but they don't really know what they do. They just know they like the sound of the job, they've seen it on telly, but they've never actually looked into what the job actually is.
Alright, so what advice would you give to prevent that mistake?
So use the internet. You've got lots of information on the internet. You can go onto websites like the National Career Service website and it will give you information about what that job is, and there'll be links to go and find further information if you want. You can see what qualifications you need, how much money you get paid, all of that kind of thing.
Alright, so what should people do if their dream job is really hard to achieve?
I don't think that's a bad thing. Like I say, particularly when you're like year 7, 8, 9, it's okay to have a dream job, and it might be, I don't know, astrophysicist or something that is quite hard to get to, but it makes you aim higher. So you can, if science is something that you like, but it's quite hard, then you'll try a bit harder in science because it's something that you'd like to do. And later is when the reality can come in. So if it is too hard, then we can look at other things that might be similar, but not quite as hard to get to as that.
Okay, what goals should we set ourselves to achieve our dream job?
I always think, just think big. So don't let people tell you can't do something.
Okay.
Because you will realise over time what you're capable of, but there's no harm in aiming higher to start off with. So people get there. I went to school with someone who went off to become an actress and they're successful. I know somebody who's been successful in music. I also know someone who went on to be a model. So there are people who get there, and those people started off dreaming big. So don't let people tell you can't do it. You can start off dreaming big.
Alright, thank you, and that's it.
Hello, I'm Amber.
And I'm Leon.
Robotics Championship. On Friday the 9th of February 2018, the Robotics Club set a course to a school in mainland Southampton.
The club was invited by engineers that are part of the RAF and Royal Navy as part of the Youth Engineers Society.
Admiral and Nelson were against lots of schools, such as Springfield and Priory.
Okay. Hello and welcome to BBC News Report, and today I'm speaking to Mr. Collier about Robotics Club. What is Robotics Club?
Well, Robotics Club, or Computing Club as we call it, is where students come to learn about different engineering concepts and how to program them. So what we've been practicing for is the Young Engineers competition, which we were sponsored by Airbus, so that we could create robots, such as this one, controlled by the EV3 robot controller there.
What did you have to do in the competition?
In the competition, we had to make a variety of robots to do lots of different tasks. All of them were aviation themed and were about saving people when accidents happen, humanitarian aid issues. One of them, things we had to do, was we had to make a robot that would go all the way up this ramp here and stop at the top without falling off. Now, we had this ramp to practice with, for instance, and there's 2, 2, 2. We could put these wooden rods here and it would make it lower. And the idea is that the higher the ramp, the steeper the ramp, the more points you get. There was lots of other different challenges we had to do in the competition. There was a speed challenge where we came 6th. There was challenges where we had to open doors with pushing a button and taking a small airplane, following a black line. There's all sorts of different challenges which the team had to think out how would they fix this, how would they solve this problem. They have to use their brains and their Lego skill so they could overcome the challenges.
What place did you come?
We came 6th overall, unfortunately. But next year, now that we have a better idea of what the challenge entails and how good the competition is, we think we can do a much better job next year.
Can you describe us about one of your favourite robots?
One of my favourite robots? Oh, let me describe it. Well, I'm a big fan of AI robots, so anything that thinks by itself. So anything by Western Dynamics is the big company that Google own. They have a big robot that's like this tall with dog legs, and it runs along and go about 30 miles an hour. Or there was a recent robot that came out that could do a backflip. It was pretty impressive. I've seen that in the news.
Okay, thanks for watching BBC News Report.
And now, a performance in our drama studio on the 28th of March, Matilda the Musical. This is a show about a young girl with a special talent who helps her friends defeat the mean headmistress, Miss Trunchbull. It's being directed by Miss Firth, a Year 11 student, Rosie, choreographed by Year 11s Charlotte and Ella. We are doing a show because it expresses the energy of young students for the entertainment of others. It showcases the talent of our pupils.
And now some interviews of the cast members of Matilda.
Hi, I'm Alex, and I'm here with Sienna and Lawrence, who are involved in Matilda the Musical. And I'm going to ask you a few questions, okay? So, who are your characters in Matilda?
Well, I play Miss Trunchbull, the headmistress of the school, who hates her pupils.
And who are you?
I play Miss Wormwood, Matilda's mother, who's really enthusiastic about dance and wants to go to West End and stuff to perform.
Are you looking forward to performing Matilda?
Yeah, I think it will be a great experience. The cast are really enthusiastic, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited. Everyone's so great. Yeah. Just to have so much fun in rehearsals and everyone's just really working hard.
As well as the full performance, we also have Soundsational, which is a festival where we're performing a couple of our numbers, Smell a Rebellion and Revolting Children.
Yeah. How are you feeling that performing at Soundsational tonight?
I think it will be quite fun. We've been rehearsing a lot, so yeah. I think it will all go well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we wish you all good luck. And back to you in the studio. I'm Alex.
And I'm Matthew with your local weather.
So on Monday 19th, there will be sunny intervals and breezy with highs of 7 degrees and lows of 1 degree. On Tuesday 20th, again there are sunny intervals and breezy with highs of 9 degrees and lows of 3 degrees. On Wednesday 21st, there will be light clouds and it will be breezy with low chances of rain. You might need your umbrella. There will be highs of 10 degrees and lows of 6 degrees. On Thursday 22nd, there will be light clouds and breezy with highs of 11 degrees and lows of 6 degrees.
On Friday the 23rd, there will be light clouds coming over with highs of 11 degrees and lows of 6 degrees. On Saturday the 24th, there will be light clouds and again highs of 11 degrees and lows of 6. And on Sunday there will be light rain showers and it will be quite breezy with highs of 11 degrees and lows of 7, so don't forget your umbrella.